A lot of you riders out there will leave a comment and say, Psycho Cruiser, I could never get an MT-07 because, or bikes like this, because they just are physically too small. They look like little toy bikes. It's like Psycho Cruiser, man. It's like the MT-07 is like a little Grom. You know, big old tall dude, I'm 6 foot tall on this. Psycho Cruiser, you look too big on this bike, man. It's too small for you. You know, why would you get this bike? Why don't you get a bigger bike like a Busa? Be a big boy and get you a Busa or a Bagger or something like that, man. You know, why get this little old measly MT-07? I'm going to tell you in this video why the physical size of a motorcycle matters.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
It's actually the size of this bike is actually what drew me to this motorcycle. In addition to everybody praising the bottom end grunt on this bike, but the physical size of this, the small size of this. Some people, like my neighbor, he got on this bike, he was like, dude, this feels like a Grom. Like, this is so small, man. Like, how do you get a little tiny bike like this? You're like 6 foot tall. I'm like, dude, that's why I got this bike. That's the beauty of this bike, man, is its small, compact size. And I modded this bike actually down to 387 pounds wet. So it's super lightweight, super compact. But you're saying, Psycho Cruiser, you know, why do you get this tiny bike? I'm going to tell you this, guys. First off, I'm going to explain to you and show you why this bike and other bikes like it and the little Honda Grom is amazing, and why people don't care about the physical side, the small physical size is why people get these bikes. But first off, before we get out here and do a motor vlog, I'm going to show you why this bike is awesome for its size and everything. Make sure you're wearing the gear to stay safe out there, and I have links to all of my awesome gear, like my favorite helmet, ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet that comes with an automatic tint shield, my airbag vest, never leave home without it, my new motovlog camera, gauntlet gloves, pants, boots. Links to all my gear is in the description and comment section of this video. First off, ask yourself, why do people love Honda Groms? Don't you see a lot of big dudes that are riding these little Groms, and they look completely silly and stupid on these on the Honda Groms? But why? Ask yourself, why do these people love the Honda Grom? Okay, because the smaller bikes are, first off, especially for new riders, they're less intimidating. Okay, the physical size of it, when they get on a smaller lightweight bike like this, it makes them feel more confident that they can control the bike easily. They feel confident, comfortable on it right away, than being on a great big heavy bike like a big Bagger or a Busa or something like that. And I got this bike down, by the way, I modded it down to 387 pounds, man. It's lightweight. And that's why I love the bike, because it makes you feel like you're riding in the bike, with the bike, as opposed to riding on it and like navigating a boat like a great big bike. The biggest bike that I've had so far, the heaviest bike I would say, is a Ducati X Diavo S, and that's a small cruiser. That's like a compact cruiser. But nobody complains about the size of that bike and say, oh, that's a little tiny bike. But that bike weighed 560 pounds or something like that. And I'm telling you guys that weight, you feel that weight, especially at slow speed maneuvers. When you want to maneuver the bike in slow speed, you feel all that weight. On a little bike like this little 387 pound bike, you don't feel the weight at any speed, and you feel at one with it. And with this CP2 engine that makes this bike very torquey, the bottom end grunt of it, plus the small size, the compact size of it, makes this bike absolutely amazing. And that's why it is one of the best, not if the best selling motorcycle of all time. Maybe, I don't, not of all time, because I think the Honda Super Cub back in the day, like That's the #1 selling of all time.
Again, another extremely popular, all-time best-selling motorcycle because of its small size, and people love it.
But I'm telling you, here in America, this is one of the best, not if the best-selling motorcycle at this time, man. First off, like I said, a lot of new riders, they love this, even though this is probably a bit much power for a new rider, even though the new 2025 MT-07s actually have rider aids on them now, so you can reduce the power and then work your way up a bit with the power, full power. It's still a bike that the size of it is very, makes you feel confident with this bike. And also in emergency situations that you need to swerve out of harm's way or whatnot. With the smaller compact bike, it makes it so much easier and it makes you feel more confident that you can control the bike in emergency situations and save yourself. Unlike the great big baggers, the Busas, you know, great big bikes, you know, even the ADV bikes, most of the big bikes. But you know, one thing that really irritates me though is that you guys will comment on me looking too big on this bike. But yet, when I was on my CBR 600RR or my CBR 1000RR, which those are tiny bikes as well, those are really small bikes. Nobody complains about the size. Nobody's talking smack about the size of a super bike and super sport. And they're very lightweight and they're very small bikes too. But everybody loves those. They're beautiful bikes. Nobody complains about the size. But the MT-07, somehow, you guys are whining about the size of the bike. Now, I know some of you guys complain about the wind on the highway. But honestly, I've never had a problem on the highway. I ride on the highway all the time, and I have no problem. I rode this bike on the windiest days, and I'm only $170, like I said. And the wind does not bother me at all. I'm still trying to figure out why you guys whine about the wind. See, I'm out here on the highway right now, guys, on my little MT-07. Very super windy day. I'm only $170, guys. I'm just fine. Now, if you're doing touring on the bike, going across the country, doing super long stints on the highway, obviously this is not the perfect bike for that. But honestly, the wind is going to bother you on any bike you're on unless you got a big shield. But even a big shield on the front of the bike, which you can put on this bike, by the way, is that you get side wind on anyhow that will, and if you're on a big heavy bike, the wind that batters you personally, even if it doesn't move the bike at all, it still gets irritating and will wear you out over time anyhow. So I hate to hear that argument about the wind being so bad on these little bikes, because it's simply not true. I'm telling you, man.
I love my little YZ450FX Supermoto on the highway, man. I rip on it, and it only weighs 265 pounds.
What's amazing about this bike is just throwing this bike around in the twisties. It feels good, confident. I actually bought this as my cruiser. Okay, I went to the Harley Davidson dealership to buy a Harley because I wanted to share the experience with you guys, and ended up walking out with an order for an MT-07. And that's one of their most top selling bikes in that Harley dealership was an MT-07. Believe it or not, man. Because it's got the bottom end grunt like a Harley, but it doesn't have that big boat weight and size of a Harley. And it's got the awesome reliability. Dealerships everywhere, parts easily available. The bike never has any problems at all. It's beautiful, man. Like I said, the small compact size of a bike, it makes it bike better. Really, it makes it better. It's safer. It makes it safer. It makes it more fun. You feel more at one with the bike. It's beautiful, man. Now, if you're really super tall, taller than me, I'm 6 foot, so if you're like 6'2", 6'3", 4", whatever, and you got really long legs and they can be a bit cramped maybe on a smaller bike like this, even the super bikes and super sports, you're going to have cramped legs, even worse, because those have pegs that are in the back, so high and up in the back like that, and they really cramp your legs. So honestly, if you're really super tall, the better bike for you probably would be like an ADV bike, a Supermoto, the Dual Sport. They give you all kinds of room, man. But if you're not super tall, and I've seen some pretty tall people on even a little Honda Grom. You know what I'm saying? And they have a blast. They have a hoot. But so many of you guys are worried about the way you look on your bike. You really believe in your heart that people are looking at you here on the side here. These people are here looking and saying, man, you look too big on this bike. It looks like a doofus, big tall dude on this little bike. It looks stupid. Only to you, because nobody cares. Most of these people are not motorcycle enthusiasts. A very tiny percentage of the population are motorcycle enthusiasts out here, guys. Okay, nobody's paying attention to you. You're a legend in your own mind. Nobody cares about you, bro. Okay? So stop thinking people care. You get the bike because you love it. It's fun for you. It's amazing. I'm telling you, get on this little MT-07. It's got all the bottom and grunt with the CP2 engine. That beautiful soundtrack. Very relaxed riding position, like a cruiser. To me, it feels like a cruiser here to me, man. That's why I bought it, because it's torquey like a cruiser, but it doesn't have that great big boat size like a cruiser. It's got all that grunt. For those of you who want to bust wheelies and do stunts and stuff like that, this is the perfect bike right here, baby. This is a do-it-all bike. There's people that have turned this into an ADV bike, you know. You could take it to the track. I mean, you could do everything. It's a cruiser. It could be a sport bike for you. It could be everything, and it's a cheap bike to own. And with no problems, sounds beautiful. Just get on it and ride, baby. But anyways, guys, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. I want to hear what you guys got to say. That's why I do these videos. Make sure to hit thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell symbol so you get notified when my new videos released. But I release new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till next time.